It was a cold, moonlit night when Jim Everett first discovered the letter. The winter wind howled through the cracks in his apartment's old windows, making them rattle like restless spirits. His small, one-bedroom apartment was as quiet as a library after dark, except for the persistent ticking of the wall clock, a constant reminder of time slipping away. James had always been so acutely aware of time, perhaps more so since he had moved to the city. He often found himself contemplating its passage, wondering where the years had gone. Jim was a creature of habit. Each night before bed, he would check his mailbox, allowing the crisp night air to clear the cobwebs of the day's stress from his mind. On this particular night, the air was biting, and he pulled his coat tighter around his shoulders as he approached the row of mailboxes in the dimly lit lobby of his building. He usually found nothing but bills and advertisements waiting for him, but tonight was different. There, nestled among the usual stack of paper, was something unusual, a plain white envelope with no return address. The only thing written on it was his name, in a handwriting eerily similar to his own. The sight of it sent a shiver down his spine, the kind that comes with the feeling of being watched or followed. He stood there for a moment, the envelope resting in his hands, before the cold finally drove him back inside. Curiosity piqued. He opened the envelope as soon as he returned to his apartment. Inside was a single sheet of paper. The letter began, "Dear Jim, I hope this letter finds you well. I am writing to you from a place you cannot reach. A timeline where different choices have led me to a different life. Please do not be alarmed. I promise you, this is not a prank." Jim sat down heavily on the arm of his worn-out sofa, his mind racing. Could this be a joke? Some kind of elaborate hoax? But the handwriting was undeniably similar to his own. He read on, the words pulling him into a reality he had never imagined. "In my world, I chose to stay in our hometown after college, rather than moving to the city. I have a family here, a wife and 2 children. Life is different, but I often wonder about the road not taken, about you. I write to you now because I feel a connection, a need to reach across the divide of what might have been. Perhaps there is something we can learn from each other. Yours sincerely, Jim Everett." Jim felt a chill that had nothing to do with the frigid night. He reread the letter several times, his mind struggling to grasp the implication of its contents. Was it really possible? Could there be another version of himself out there, living a life so different from his own? The idea was both thrilling and terrifying, a reminder of the infinite possibilities of life and the weight of every decision he had ever made. The letter left him with more questions than answers, and he found sleep elusive that night. As he lay in bed, listening to the wind whip through the alleyways outside his window, he couldn't shake the feeling that his life had shifted in some imperceptible way, that the very fabric of his reality was being woven with new threads. Over the next few days, Jim tried to put the letter out of his mind, dismissing it as a prank or a figment of his imagination. But a week later, another envelope appeared in his mailbox. This time he tore it open with a mix of dread and anticipation, his heart pounding in his chest. "Dear Jim, thank you for reading my first letter. I imagine you have many questions. I wish I could answer them all. My life here is simple but fulfilling. I work as a teacher at our old high school. Remember Mr. Thompson's history class? I took over his position when he retired. It's strange, the paths we take. My wife, Sarah, is wonderful. We met at a local cafe, one of those chance encounters that changes everything. Our kids, Ellie and Jack, bring me joy beyond measure. Yet, sometimes I wonder about the life you lead, about the city and the dreams I left behind. Do you ever think about what might have been? Yours sincerely, Jim Everett. Jim's heart ached as he read the letter. He did remember Mr. Thompson's class and the way it had sparked his love of history. He thought about Sarah, a girl he had known briefly in college. Could she have been the one? Had he made different choices? He couldn't help but wonder. His mind drifted back to those days, filled with youthful dreams and endless possibilities. The city had called to him then, a siren song of opportunity and excitement. But now, as he sat alone in his apartment, he couldn't help but feel a pang of regret for the life he had left behind. The letters had stirred something within him, a yearning for connection and understanding. He found himself looking forward to the next letter, eager to learn more about this other life, this other James who had made different choices. He began to see his own life through a new lens, questioning the decisions he had made and the path he had chosen. The letters continued to arrive, each one revealing more about the life James could have lived. He learned about his alternate self's struggles and triumphs, the simple joys and deep regrets. Each letter felt like a conversation with a long-lost friend, a reflection of his own thoughts and feelings. He found himself growing attached to this other version of himself, feeling a kinship that transcended time and space. Jim began to write back, using the address provided in the latest letter. He poured out his own story, his move to the city, the career he had pursued, and the loneliness that sometimes crept in at night. He spoke of the dreams he had chased and the sacrifices he had made. The act of writing became a catharsis, a way to explore the choices he had made and the life he was living. In his letter, he found a catharsis he hadn't realized he needed. The correspondence became a lifeline, a way to explore the choices he had made and the life he was living. He wrote about the bustling city life, the anonymity and the excitement it offered, the friendships he had formed, and the love he had lost along the way. He shared his aspirations, his doubts, and the moments of clarity that came to him in the quiet hours of the night. As he wrote, he found himself opening up in ways he had never had before, baring his soul to this unknown version of himself. It was as if he was speaking to an old friend, someone who understood him in ways no one else could. The letters became a mirror, reflecting back his own hopes and fears, challenging him to confront the truths he had long buried. As the many weeks passed, Jim found himself looking forward to the letters. They became a source of comfort, a reminder that he was not alone in his journey. He began to see his life through a new lens, appreciating the small moments of joy and the connections he had made. The letters helped him to see the beauty in his own life, the richness of the experiences he had accumulated over the years. Through the letters, he learned to forgive himself for past mistakes and to embrace the life he had chosen. He came to understand that every choice led to both loss and gain, and that the life he was living was just as valuable as the one he might have lived. The correspondence had given him a sense of closure, a release from the what-ifs that had haunted him for so long. He began to notice the little things that brought him joy. An unexpected smile from a stranger, the warmth of the sun on his face, the simple pleasure of a good book. He realized that happiness was not a destination, but a journey, a collection of moments strung together like pearls on a thread. Jim also began to reach out more to the people around him, nurturing the relationships he had once neglected. He reconnected with old friends, made new ones, and found solace in the company of others. The letters had taught him that life was not meant to be lived in isolation, that connections were the true measure of a life well lived. One snowy evening, as Jim sat by the window watching the snowflakes dance in the streetlights, he received what would be the last letter. It was with a mixture of sadness and gratitude that he opened the envelope, knowing that this chapter of his life was coming to a close. Dear Jim, this will be my final letter. Our correspondence has been a gift, a chance to reflect and to grow. I hope you have found peace in our exchange, just as I have. I want you to know that you are not alone. Our lives are different, yes, but they are both rich and meaningful. Thank you for sharing your story with me. It has been an honor to know you, even across the divide of time and space. Take care of yourself and remember that every path leads somewhere beautiful. Yours sincerely, Jim Everett. Jim folded the letter and placed it gently in the box where he kept all the others. He felt a sense of closure, a deep gratitude for the connection he had shared with another version of himself. The letters had taught him to cherish the life he had, to embrace the choices he had made, and to look forward to the future with hope. As he sat watching the snowfall, Jim realized that his life was indeed beautiful, and he was exactly where he was meant to be. The journey had been a journey of self-discovery, a reminder that life was a tapestry woven from countless choices and experiences. He knew now that every decision, every path taken or not, had led him to this moment, and for that, he was grateful. He rose from his seat by the window, feeling lighter than he had in years. The world outside was blanketed in white, a fresh canvas, waiting to be filled with the colors of his life. Jim knew that he would continue to write his story, one day at a time, with the knowledge that every path was indeed beautiful in its own way. As he turned away from the window, he carried with him the memory of a connection that had transcended time and space, a testament to the power of the choices we make and the lives we lead. With the final letter tucked away, Jim found himself reflecting more deeply on the life he had built. He realized that the letters had been more than just a window into another reality. They had been a catalyst for change. He started journaling his thoughts and aspirations, chronicling his journey and the lessons he had learned along the way. The city, once a place that had seemed vast and indifferent, now felt like a vibrant tapestry of stories and possibilities. Jim began to explore its nooks and crannies, finding beauty in unexpected places. A hidden cafe with the best espresso, a tiny bookstore filled with rare treasures, a park where the morning sun cast a golden glow on everything it touched. His newfound perspective spilled over into his work as well. Jim, a freelance writer, began to infuse his articles with the insights he had gained through the correspondence. His writing resonated with a new depth, attracting more readers and opportunities. He found himself energized, excited about the path his career was taking. Jim also rekindled his passion for photography, a hobby he had set aside amid the hustle and bustle of city life. With his camera in hand, he captured moments that spoke to him. An elderly couple sharing a quiet moment on a park bench. Children playing in the snow. The city skyline at dusk. Each photograph was a reminder of the beauty in the everyday, a testament to the life he was now fully embracing. As spring arrived, bringing with it a sense of renewal, Jim felt a stirring of hope and possibility. The city blossomed with color, and he found himself drawn to the energy and vibrancy around him. Inspired by the letters, he ventured beyond his comfort zone, joining a local community group dedicated to urban gardening. Here he met people from all walks of life, each one with their own stories and dreams. One evening, as they worked together to prepare a new garden bed, Jim found himself deep in conversation with a woman named Claire. She was passionate about sustainability and shared his love for storytelling. As they talked, he felt a connection, a spark that had been absent from his life for too long. Their friendship blossomed, and soon they were spending more time together, exploring the city and sharing their dreams for the future. The letters had taught Jim to cherish the connections he made, and he approached this burgeoning relationship with an open heart. Claire became a confidant, someone with whom he could share the highs and lows of his journey. She encouraged him to pursue his passions and supported him through moments of doubt. As the months rolled on, Jim continued to grow and evolve, guided by the lessons he had learned through his correspondence. The letters had been a gift, a chance to see his life from a new perspective, and to appreciate the beauty in the choices he had made. With Claire by his side, Jim felt ready to face the future with renewed confidence. They embarked on new adventures, exploring the world beyond the city and discovering the wonders it held. Together, they traveled to places they had only dreamed of, immersing themselves in different cultures and experiences. Jim's writing flourished, reflecting the richness and diversity of the life he now led. His articles and photographs captured the essence of the world around him, resonating with readers who saw their own stories reflected in his work. He had found his voice, a unique perspective that set him apart and connected him to others. Years passed, and Jim often found himself reflecting on the journey that had brought him to this point. The letters remained a cherished memory, a reminder of the connection that had transcended time and space. They had been a turning point, a catalyst for change that had led him to embrace the life he had and to find joy in the present moment. Jim and Claire built a life together, filled with love, laughter, and adventure. They nurtured their passions and supported each other's dreams, creating a partnership that enriched both their lives. As they looked to the future, they did so with hope and excitement, knowing that they were writing their story together, one chapter at a time. In the quiet moments, Jim would sometimes reread the letters, finding comfort in the words of his alternate self. They were a testament to the power of choice and the beauty of the paths we take. He knew that every decision, every twist, every turn had brought him to this moment, and for that, he was profoundly grateful. As he sat by the window, Claire by his side, watching the city lights twinkle like stars in the night sky, Jim knew that he had found his place in the world. The journey had been long and winding, but it had led him to a life filled with meaning and connection. The letters had been the beginning, but the story was far from over. With each new day, he continued to write his own tale, embracing the beauty of the life he had chosen and the endless possibilities that lay ahead.